What is up, everybody? It's your boy Simon Khalil. Welcome back to another episode. Let's go over my wedding gear, all in these Pelican cases. Now, I've done a video about travel gear, I've done a video about portrait gear, and now, wedding gear. Usually on a typical wedding day, my weddings are usually all day events, so therefore I'm going to show you exactly what I use on those days, how many memory cards I go through, how many batteries I go through. I'm not going to show you all the batteries, I'm not going to show you all the memory cards, but I'll give you a rough idea of what type of memory cards I use, how many gigs they are, and so on and so forth. Also, what type of cameras, what are my main lenses for the day. I am currently shooting this video on the Sony a7 IV, so I will only be showing you one body in here, but usually to cover myself, I got these Pelican cases. I also carry this bad boy around my waist. That way I don't have to drag the Pelican cases around the reception area or the church or, just the grounds in general. So let's get into it first by what I'm carrying this gear with. These Pelican cases have been super clutch since day one. I bought them probably 4 years ago, and I travel everywhere with them. I've been on planes with them. I've literally gone everywhere with these cases, and my camera gear is always in my hand wherever I go. So let's start off by the holster I use. I actually use holsters to dual wield. So this is the holster by Holdfast, and I will certainly drop a link for you below. These guys save my back every time I go shooting. They absolutely work phenomenally. They definitely are easy to grasp. You just put them on like this. One body on this side, one body on this side, and you're golden. So I'll leave them on for now. They are pretty comfortable. Not with hoodies though, but they are pretty comfortable in general. I also have 2 additional straps because sometimes I do have a third camera that I like to take on site with me to do additional work. So I usually have on one side a body with the 7200 on my right, and on my left I usually have a body with the 24-70 on this side. So super clutch, super easy to use. You could just drop and go. Super easy to disconnect the camera right here. So again, very easy to use. So let's get into the case and see what we got. As you can see here, I got not everything here because I didn't want to repack all the batteries and shit, but I do have all the lenses that I tend to use here, except the 35, which is I am filming with right now. The Sigma 35 1.4 is on the camera right now, so I don't have that lens to show you here, but this is what the inside of the case looks like. I do have my cameras and my lenses here on the bottom, and then accessories here on the top. Let's go through it first, and you know what? Let me get this out the way and shift this over to the side like this, and that's a lot better. So let's start off with camera. Camera body of choice is the a7 IV. The a7 IV is super clutch. It's not the fastest in frame rate. It's not the top of the line for Sony, but you know what? It gets the job well done. So no complaints about this camera here, especially because I've been hybrid shooting a lot lately. So the video and the photo aspect have been both pretty clutch. Next, on wedding days, I usually have a battery grip attached to both cameras with the clip for the Holdfast right here on the bottom. Now, this is the Sony one. I actually tried. I used to buy third-party ones all the time for all the previous work I've done over the past several years. But since upgrading to the A7 IV, I actually I'm only buying Sony products now. I did test one that was a Velo or something of that sort, and honestly, it felt cheap in my hand. So I decided to just go for the Sony ones, spend the extra coin, go for the Sony ones, and to be honest, the weddings I've shot with it so far have been well worth it. So definitely pick this up if you're shooting weddings. They're super helpful. The batteries last half day. You know, 2 batteries for me last about half the day. And really focusing on when I changed batteries this past weekend. I started off shooting a wedding. It was an all-day wedding, literally from 9 a.m. to approximately 11 p.m. And I changed out the batteries right around, I want to say 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. From the original 2 that were in here, I added 2 more, and then I was set for the rest of the night. So they last pretty long. A lot of shots taken with them, so definitely worth the coin. So that way, you know, guys don't get discouraged when you go on the Sony site or the B&H site and see the price of these bad boys, but they are completely worth it. So on to my lenses. My main lens, like I said, I usually carry on the right side is my 70-200. This is the version 1. I did not buy the version 2 as of yet. As I don't feel the need for the upgrade. Everybody's like, oh, you should just upgrade. It's lighter. Honestly, I mean, there's really no point in upgrading. This does wonders for me, and honestly, I've loved it since the day I got it. So that is the 70-200, and it's a beast. So no qualms there. This is one of my. This is the lens that does not come off my camera at all during the day. Next, let's get into let's get into the next lens that I use basically 98% of the time throughout the day, and that is my Sigma 24-70. Again, there is a new G Master out, the version 2. I don't plan on picking it up right away simply because like there is no need for me to do so. So this is something that I feel that should be in every camera bag. 24-70 is a clutch lens. Again, this doesn't come off. I would say 98% of the day this does not come off. So this lens is super clutch as well. So we'll put that right there. When I am changing out the lens, there's 2 reasons why I would change out lenses. If I really want a really wide shot of the church, you know, especially if it's a grand area, I do have with me my 14-24 Sigma. Now, not gonna lie, this lens is great, but I do plan on upgrading to the 16-35 G Master version 2 when it comes out. I don't know when it's coming out, and the reason for that is if you see on top of this lens right here, I'll try to get it in focus here. The actual top of this lens pops out. This lens hood is not removable. So using filters, especially daytime shooting, is extremely hard with this lens. And honestly, that is my biggest thing with this lens. Don't get me wrong. I've used it for vlogs. I've used it for video. It's fantastic. Build quality, autofocus, everything is fantastic on it. That is literally the only thing that I have a problem with this lens. And 14, I don't necessarily shoot at 14 millimeters. It's more, I usually start at the 16 just because I was always used to that. So that's I do recommend this lens. It is cheap. It is probably going to be cheaper than the G Master. And you know, the G Master lenses are expensive, but this has been a good substitute for now. Next, you guys might laugh at me at this one, but that's fine because I refuse to get rid of this lens. I've had it since I was a Canon shooter, and I don't see myself upgrading unless another macro comes out for Sony. I know they have one out now. I'm just not in a rush to upgrade. So first off, this is a macro lens. This is a Sigma macro lens. It's a 105 2.8, and this is for Canon, and I still have it. Not gonna lie, it's super slow. Autofocus is terrible. But when I'm shooting rings, I shoot manual anyway. So to me, it doesn't really matter. Now, the reason why I've kept this is because the lens is super sharp. I have no problems with the lens, other than it being slow in autofocus. But to be honest, I don't usually shoot at this focal range if I'm doing portraits or something, so it really doesn't matter to me. And on top of here, I do have the MC11, the Sigma MC11 adapter, which converts the EF mount to the E mount. So not bad. Again, I don't see myself upgrading this bad boy anytime soon. I don't really care to. It does its job, and there's really no reason for me to upgrade it if I don't need to. So that is, these are the lenses I usually carry on a wedding day. So, and these are my top used lenses. So definitely a lot here, and I will be dropping the links down below for all this stuff, so you don't have to worry about that piece too much. Now let's get into the batteries I use. So I do usually stash my batteries up here. I've recently converted to the Sony Z batteries only. Now, I used to buy third-party batteries, but a lot of the accessories would say that they're not that great in keeping power. Over time, they start losing their power. So I've made it a point just to, anytime a pair of batteries start crapping out, I just buy another set, and I have literally about 12 of these. So I never run into an issue where I am going to run out of batteries during any tour to shoot. So this is perfect. Now, for memory cards are this is controversial because I tend to shoot on 64 gig memory cards. Now, I've been shooting on these Sony Tough cards probably for the past year, especially because I can switch now very easily to video on this particular piece. 4K, no problem. These are the Sony 64 gig cards. Now, why do I shoot on 64 gigs? Simon, though, that won't last you the day. You're absolutely right. But I found that shooting on 64 gigs, even though I shoot simultaneously with RAW and JPEG on this particular camera, I like to keep everything separate. So I shoot prep separately. I shoot ceremony separately on another card. I shoot reception separately on another card. So I'm usually using about 6 to 8 memory cards. They're not full by any means per time I shoot. Now, I like to separate things. I've known photographers that literally have lost the entire day shooting on a 256 gig memory card, and everything is lost throughout the day. And then all you can supply are JPEGs. There's no RAWs. They run into issues where memory cards have gotten lost. So what I like to do is I have the JPEGs, but I switch out memory cards. 64 gigs is the most I am going to be shooting on at this particular point, simply because I already have my process, and I do have a stash of memory cards here, so I'm never going to run out. But this is one thing that's controversial, because I see a lot of wedding photographers bring backup systems and shit like that, but which I have planned on purchasing, actually, like bringing a backup system with me to a wedding, so that way I can back everything up right there and then, or even if I'm using a second shooter. So if you guys have recommendations for that, drop it down below. I would love to check it out and see what you guys have to offer. So another thing I always carry with me on the wedding day are a stack of business cards. Leaving these out while the congregation is coming in, while the guests are coming. These have gotten me a lot of business lately. Now, they may be undervalued at this particular point, but to be honest, they seem to work for me. So, which is great. Since we have all the camera gear out the way, let's get into the lighting. Now, I have a ton of these. I'm not going to show you everything I have. This is more, I want to show you what I'm using throughout the day. So for lighting, this is the Godox V863S for Sony. Now, this bad boy is super fast. The refresh rate on it is great. And I'm not going to get into technical specs, but there's a reason why I bought this particular one. If I am doing video, I like to take snippets of video while I'm shooting throughout the day. This has a built-in LED on it. So therefore, I'm not rocking any other LED lighting on my camera. I'm not switching out, I'm not doing none of that. So this has been super clutch when I'm taking some video. So and it goes actually pretty bright. This is the top brightness right here, and this is at 1 right here, which isn't bad. It really isn't bad. So this is a super clutch tool to have. I've been using this probably for the past year since it's been out, and yeah, no complaints about it at all. It's you can definitely get a lot of flashes in at the time. It keeps up with the refresh rate, no issues at all. I definitely recommend the Godox. It's the V863S for Sony. So they also make it for Canon, and I believe they make it for Nikon. So excellent flash. And I have usually about 4 of these with me at all times, and like 3 extra batteries for each. Next, these guys are the Godox AD200. Now these guys have been around for a couple of years now, and these are actually very reliable when it comes to shooting weddings. Now I have 5 of these. Now you don't need 5 of these. I usually have these around for lighting the entire reception area. Now the dance floor and stuff like that. Now these are super clutch during that time. The refresh rate is excellent. This light lasts all day. I use this light during portraits. I use this light during reception, and sometimes if the room is dark that the bride is getting ready in, I will use them for prep shots. Now, not to say that there aren't better lights than this, but for me, weddings, these have been very clutch. Now what I do is I have these Bowen mounts on the racks right here. I go ahead and put them in, and I have these racks literally all over the reception hall, right? And the best part is, this can be a slave to the flash. All you have to do is set it up. You could set up to 4 flashes, and every time this goes off, your external AD200s go off. I'll be honest with you, I've been using this for a couple of years now. I absolutely love it. The pictures come out amazing because everything is well lit. It just depends on the place. It really just depends on the reception hall, how many you need. I always have all 5 with me. That way, in case something goes wrong, something's not working well, I have it there, no issues at all. One battery lasts literally 2 weddings for me. I literally don't even charge them every wedding. So if I have a wedding on a Saturday and a Sunday, I charge them up Friday, and I'm good for the rest of the weekend. So those lights are super clutch. I definitely recommend them. The AD200s. You don't have to get 5. I've bought 5 over the last 3 years, 4 years that I've been using them. So that's it. I think, oh, you know what? One last thing I do have here. This, guys, is my bag that I have around my waist. This is the Nomadic or Peter McKinnon sling bag. Now, I just got this. I've been using it. I usually do carry a different bag, but honestly, this is probably the most comfortable one I have found for me. This is absolutely fantastic. Has a lot of space in here. And usually what I do is in the reception hall, usually strap this on me, 2 extra batteries, 2 extra memory cards or 3 extra memory cards, and my Sigma 35 lens in case I switch out. That's how I usually get my video with the Sigma throughout the reception. So super clutch. Definitely well worth the money. Yeah, that's really it, guys. And you know, any other thing that I have that comes to mind, I'll drop a link down below. But this is my gear that I use for weddings, and I haven't really switched anything up over the last couple of years. This is, except, you know, the actual camera bodies. But you guys should tell me what gear you're using, what is helpful. I may not be have the best flashes. I may not have the best lenses. I know people who shoot with only prime lenses throughout the day. So if you're one of those people, I'd love to hear your setup, honestly. You know, I know some people that have, you know, 24 1.4s that work fantastic for them. That doesn't leave their camera body at all throughout the day. I also have know people that shoot with 85s all day. So they're dual wielding, yes, but they have 24 on one and an 85 on the other, or a 35 on one, and a 85 on the other. But I'd like to hear about your setups, guys. Make sure you go ahead and drop a comment below. Other than that, make sure you like, share, subscribe to this channel. I appreciate all the support, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.